Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the hidden meanings behind a quiet but absolutely essential element of the Catholic sanctuary. We're going to take a much closer look at something you probably see every single week without ever truly seeing it. So let's just get right into it. Have you ever actually noticed that small table tucked near the sanctuary during Mass? I mean, it sits there perfectly and neatly arranged before the liturgy even kicks off, and it's so easy to just walk right past it without knowing what it's called or why those specific objects are resting on it. But in the Church's sacred liturgy, this little table is no afterthought. It plays an incredibly vital role in maintaining the dignity, reverence, and order of the whole Mass. To really grasp its purpose, we've got to look at the word itself. Credence comes from the Latin credentia, which literally means belief or trust. Traditionally, this term meant a place where items were prepared or kept ready for use. So, in the context of the Mass, it's essentially the staging ground. It's the specific spot where all the sacred vessels, the linens, and other essentials are prepared in trust right before they are brought to the altar. All right, we're going to break this down into 5 quick parts. First, hidden in plain sight. Second, the sacred vessels. Third, the rite of purification. Fourth, the sacred linens. And finally, every detail has purpose. Okay, let's jump right into part 1, hidden in plain sight. When you really think about the sheer level of detail involved, it's pretty amazing. We're talking about a dozen meticulously arranged items resting here. It really goes to show that from the altar all the way to the ambo, the vessels, the vestments, absolutely nothing placed in the sanctuary is there by accident. Everything serves the worship of God, and this table, it's the organizational heart of that worship. Moving right along to part 2, the sacred vessels. Now, at a quick glance, the chalice and the ciborium might look pretty similar, right? But they actually serve totally distinct and profoundly revered roles. The chalice is the sacred cup holding the wine, which, through the words of consecration and the Holy Spirit, becomes the precious blood of Christ. Obviously, the Church treats it with immense reverence. On the flip side, the ciborium, which kind of looks like a chalice with a lid, is designed specifically to hold the consecrated hosts. If you have a massive congregation, you might see multiple ciboria sitting here. And after communion, it's the ciborium that is typically reserved in the tabernacle for the sick, the homebound, and for Eucharistic adoration. Sitting right nearby, you've got the paten. It's a simple but absolutely vital plate dedicated entirely to holding the bread during the Eucharistic prayer. Though it looks super simple in its design, it is completely set apart for this one singular, miraculous moment of the Holy Mass. And occasionally, you'll see a larger paten used to distribute Holy Communion as well. Next up are the cruets. You know, those 2 little vessels for wine and water used during the preparation of the gifts. What's really fascinating here is how just a single drop of water from these cruets carries massive theological weight. Just a tiny amount of water is mixed with the wine, and that action symbolizes the union of Christ's divinity with our humanity. Plus, it directly recalls the blood and water that flowed from Christ's side on the cross. So they're simple vessels, sure, but they prepare the ultimate sacrifice. All right, part 3, the rite of purification. So here we have the lavabo set, which is made up of a pitcher, a bowl, and a towel. These 3 work together for an incredibly ancient, brief liturgical rite that expresses the priest's desire for purity of heart. Usually an altar server presents these all together. The pitcher pours the water, the bowl catches it, and that simple linen towel dries the hands. It's a great reminder that even the briefest, smallest details of the liturgy are handled with immense care and dignity. As he washes his hands, the priest quietly prays, "Wash me, O Lord, from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin." It's drawn right from Psalm 51, and it perfectly captures how this practical, physical action is really all about deep spiritual preparation before the priest steps up to the altar to continue the sacred mysteries. That brings us to part 4, the sacred linens. These linens are practically a whole system of their own, taking very practical needs and elevating them into acts of extreme reverence for the Eucharist. First, you've got the corporal. That's the square white linen unfolded on the altar. Its job is crucial. It makes sure that even the smallest fragments of the sacred host are caught and treated with the utmost care. The vessels rest right on top of it. Next is the pall, the stiff, square cover placed over the chalice. Practically, it keeps dust or insects out of the precious blood, but again, it reflects a deep, deep reverence. And finally, the purificator. That's the white cloth used to cleanse the chalice and wipe its rim after communion. Because it literally touches the precious blood, it gets treated with special care and is laundered according to very specific church norms. To round out the linens, we have the chalice veil and the burse. Now, these are technically optional, but they beautifully maintain the richness of Catholic liturgical heritage. The veil goes over the chalice before the preparation of the gifts and usually matches the liturgical color of the day. The burse is this folded case used to hold the corporal before it's actually unfolded on the altar. While you might not see them as often today in the Roman Rite, their continued use in a lot of parishes is just a wonderful sign of historical continuity and dignity.
Finally, part 5. Every detail has purpose.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The crucial point is that this table is absolutely not just for storage. It's a profound lesson. I mean, at first glance, it might just look like another piece of furniture, but in reality, it teaches us that in the Church's greatest act of worship, nothing is accidental. Every vessel, every linen, every single object is carefully prepared to serve a specific, sacred purpose. Together, they reflect this immense love for the Eucharist. All of these physical details intentionally point to a higher spiritual truth. They literally point us directly toward Christ, truly present in the most holy Eucharist.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. The next time you attend Mass, maybe get there just a few minutes early. Take a look at the credence tables standing ready and ask yourself, out of all these everyday objects transformed into sacred instruments, which one actually surprises you the most?